Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness, presented by the Yes Team Realtors and Yes, Realty Partners. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world, and it's so good to be with you on a glorious day to be alive. You take a step outside, and you see the gift that God has given us, and it's this world in March, approaching 70 degrees. And I am so happy that we are above the mud on this glorious Tuesday. Judah's our director, studio camera. My friend Keith Smith.
Did great. That was a great intro, man.
Don't you feel great to be alive right now? You always do.
I always do. Well, some days you feel better than others, but today was a great day. When I walked from our office at the Studio X to here, it was just like, I'm actually sweating a little bit because when I got a sweater on, and us old dudes, we get cold easy.
You're not
so
old.
I gotta put that on there. But hey, I think we should. That question we asked Johnny, I think folks should put in the feed. Let's kind of do a straw poll on tacos or corn or flour. Let's see what we kind of pull up at the end of the show.
What do you guys like when you go out to dinner if you're cooking at home? Corn or flour tortillas, corn your taco, your burritos, whatever it may be. Johnny Ornelas says corn is up, but flour is coming in strong.
Oh.
Johnny Ornelas.
There you go. We love Johnny. We love what they do out there in El Mariachi.
And Guadalajara.
And Guadalajara, absolutely. Yeah. So I don't really have too much planned today. I just figured we'd talk a little bit about numbers. I know we're number geeks, and I got all this kind of spreadsheet stuff, and I took the time this morning to kind of take a look at what's going on in the market since we were kind of out of town a little bit last week. And there's a new ability that we have as real estate agents in the MLS, which is not necessarily public facing. This is internally that we can take a look at it, and it's called Coming Soon. So I've been actually tracking them, and they're starting to pick up. I think we talked about this months ago. That come around March, April, confidence will start getting back up. I think off air we were talking about this CDC thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that for a minute.
No mask.
No mask.
If you have the vaccine.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read that. We should talk a little bit about that. But the coming soons and the actives are starting to pick up. And we'll kind of go through area by area, but the ratios are still kind of lopsided, meaning actives to pendings. Some of them are 3-to-1 ratio, some of them are 2-to-1 ratios. I think the only one that's pretty much on par was Nelson County. But we'll kind of dig into that. But what I was hoping to do today is some feed come in there and see where, like we love to do, some question comes in and we go off on a side direction for an hour, and you yell at me because it's time to get off the set.
Ray Cadell says flour. Nikki Chambliss, flour. We have Penguin642 on Twitter. He says corn all day, baby.
Oh, baby.
Penguin642
Talk
on
about
Twitter.
Baby. Did you see the Vital commercial?
Oh. Which one?
The one he just did. I can't remember. It was a Geico. I think it was a Geico commercial.
I bet it was hilarious.
It was funny as all heck. I mean, I miss watching that guy, but it was like, I think it was a Geico question. But
Johnny Ornelas says, Keith and Jerry, Judah, let me know when I can make you guys some homemade corn for you guys, corn tacos for you and enjoy here on the show. Johnny Ornelas.
I'm in.
I don't want to speak for Keith or Judah, but we say, how about today, tomorrow, or any day you want?
Well, I'm thinking we got about an hour.
Yeah, Judah Wickhauer says any day of the week, Johnny Ornelas.
That ends in the word day.
Yeah, we are in, Johnny.
Well, Johnny, I don't know if you're over in Fontaine, you can get here within a half an hour.
Johnny's the owner, Guadalajara, Fontaine. Judah got a chuckle out of that. He also owns El Mariachi and Zion's Crossroads. Johnny, a serial restaurant entrepreneur. Also, let's welcome to the broadcast, Colmana de Dawson and Gilly. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. I know you watch our shows all the time. Thank you for watching the program.
We have to find out where he or she is from.
Yeah, more information we would love. And if you have questions, jump in the mix. Carrie Rock says corn all day, Keith Smith.
Look at that. We didn't even talk about this, and we went off on
corn all day.
Corn. So I'm trying to keep track here, but seems like a split down the middle. Somebody ought to keep track.
I got something for you, Carrie Rock. Johnny Ornelas, we got something for you. Ray Cadell, Logan Foster, Ness Realty, Roy Wheeler. I guess it's Howard Hanna right now watching the broadcast.
I think it's Howard Hanna,
Roy Wheeler.
I believe that's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We should get Michael on to talk a little bit about that.
We should. We should.
I'll reach out to him.
My friend, consumer confidence upticking.
Yeah. So tell me about that, because we walked in and you kind of just went right in it. And so what are you seeing out there on the show? Because I haven't been wandering around Charlottesville for a week. So.
Okay, so I'll banter with you. Charlottesville, give me your take here. When we go downtown, and the distinguished gentleman, Keith Smith, his headquarters, his HQ is X Park. Yes, Realty Partners.
So I have to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, I said Studio 9.
Yeah, it's not Studio 9.
I mean, how stupid is that?
No. At one time you said it was, first it was Studio 9, and then it was Studio IX. And then Studio X. IX, yeah. But Studio X. So I'm based the consumer...
And to make it even worse...
I missed you.
I miss you too. To even make it worse, our client care coordinator is...
Emily?
No, Justine.
Okay.
We have a couple.
Gotcha.
It's Justine is an X, or former X. So I even when she was working for
You're
me,
all kinds of confused.
Yeah, I was confused. Yeah, and then it's just me being me. The brain sometimes go a little sideways on it.
Keith Smith, I learned from you, so I'm going to paint a picture for you,
Sure.
and you tell me what you think.
Sure.
Okay, you're smart guy. Okay, the CDC
Somebody's
says
lying to you.
The CDC says yesterday, fully vaccinated people can gather without mask. Macro headline. Yeah. CDC says yesterday, fully vaccinated people can gather with other people without masks. I went, that blew my mind. Second thing I want to throw to you, when we walk, let's go micro. Sure. When you and I walk downtown, parking spaces being scooped up left and right.
Interesting, very interesting. So the first end of it was, I haven't read the article,
sure.
So I don't know particulars, because it's like changing.
It changes every day.
Like yesterday, it was no, right?
Right.
Wasn't that right, Judah? Yesterday was no?
Well, last week it was that if you get vaccinated, you can still pass COVID to other people, but you're protected yourself. Yesterday, the CDC said if you're vaccinated, now you don't have to wear the mask at all, and you can do whatever the hell you want, basically. That's basically what they said.
Well, then the question I would ask is, great, I'm walking down the downtown mall. How do they know if I'm vaccinated or not?
That's a good question. And look, I'm going to read straight from the Associated Press 2 hours ago. Fully vaccinated people, and J-Dubs, check this one. Thank you, sir. Fully vaccinated Americans can gather with other vaccinated people indoors without wearing a mask or social distancing, according to a long-awaited guidance from federal health officials, literally published by the Associated Press 2 hours ago.
So my first question would be to reach out to some of your restaurateurs to say, okay, what does that mean to you, right? So how does that actually going to work?
I think this is what's going to happen. All right, and I'm spitballing with you
sure.
for the sake of a talk show,
sure.
like we do. I think what's going to happen is it's going to come down to, are you vaccinated or not? It's like no shirt, no shoes, no service, no vaccine.
Provide a card.
Provide a card.
Yeah.
Provide proof of vaccination.
Sure. Yeah.
And then here's the thing. I know where you stand on this. You want to you'll take the injection, right? You'll take the vaccine.
If I could,
first available.
Yeah. So I was on the phone with my oldest daughter who's up in Connecticut, and 55 and over, you can get a shot.
In Connecticut.
In Connecticut. Here it's 65, so we're close, but we're not quite there yet.
Yours is right around the corner.
No, I don't really know when we're going to be ready to do it, and it's an interesting thought.
Are you signed up?
I am.
Okay.
But it's an interesting thought, and it's just spitballing something here.
Sure.
Don't know. This is just me thinking. There is no actual science or anything I read on it, but it feels like the areas that did not do as well as Virginia, as far as getting in front of it with masks and what the governor has done to control this literally a year ago, right, is being somewhat penalized. It seems like the Connecticut's, the Northeast that really had it really bad, they're getting more of the vaccines than us. I don't know. That's just a perception of mine. I may be 100% wrong, but it kind of feels that way. But man, if they say people that are, let's say, almost 60.
Vanessa Parkhill, welcome to the show, hey, Vanessa. Thank you for watching, Vanessa Parkhill.
But we were clear about that from day one. As soon as it was ready, get it in my arm.
Oh, I don't even care which one it is. Get it in my arm.
Yeah.
You want Johnson & Johnson.
I would prefer Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I want Johnson & Johnson too.
Yeah,
I think most people would want Johnson & Johnson. But Keith, the vaccines are rolling out. You have this coming soon statistic that you're about to offer. I'm seeing the parking spaces all around the downtown mall being taken. How about the piece about say Studio X? What you're seeing at Studio X?
Well, that's really interesting. So on the way over, I was actually talking to Jason Barton, and I'm going to bring him on the show in a couple of weeks to talk about how his business is ramping up. So one of the things.
Who is he?
He's the owner of Studio X and
the Vault, the old Bank of America.
Yeah, and I was asking him, things are starting to pick up a little bit, but not, of course, pre-pandemic on that end of it. So you're starting to see that come along a little bit. But it was interesting on the walk over. That's why I'm still sweating a little bit from the walk over. I was starting to see like Norcross, right? The apartments on Norcross. I walk up that way over from Friendship Court. I walk around Friendship Court. Usually those parking spots were fully wide open. They were full today. So that's an encouraging sign.
That's a very encouraging sign. I mean, also encouraging signs for Charlottesville. Joffrey's building code.
Yep.
Getting closer and closer to the finish line. Mm-hmm. Also encouraging signs for Charlottesville. We have 5 city councilors who I'm being told are seriously considering the outdoor refreshment area.
And hats off to you, man. And I tagged that. I tagged that. You were in front of that. I don't know who picked it up on the state level, to sponsor the bill. But that hats off to that, and I think you're going to see that happen. I think you're going to see the state legislature get in front of stuff like that. So their season is over, right? You know how it works.
They do so much in such little time.
Very much so. But yeah, so it's feeling that way. It also happens to be it's almost 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Everybody. I think
kids are back in school.
Yeah.
Spring has sprung.
Yeah.
It's almost 70 degrees.
Yep.
We have the ACC basketball tournament.
70 degrees is a little cold to me right now.
ACC basketball tournament. UVA is the #1 seed.
Yeah.
The big dance is around the corner.
Yep.
You got a ton of inventory coming on the market.
No. Tons a bit of a stretch.
You got some.
It's moving in the right direction.
Okay. Right?
Moving in the right direction.
And to your point, interest rates potentially creeping up.
Well, they have.
Which could stabilize this market.
Yeah, and some of my fellow realtors watching might want to chime in on
Rake it out. What do you think?
So I think a raise in interest rates is a good thing.
No doubt.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it's.
And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's not.
No, it's not. And we're bouncing around a little bit, and I gave poor Judah, aka Batman. Not Batman. I'm Batman, a.k.a. Alfred. If you can put up slide 4, that would be great. So, you
got 117 people watching you right now on Twitter. If you're watching and you have questions, put them in the feed here. I'll relay them to Keith Smith, Yes Realty Partners, Yes Team Realtors, Chairman Thomas Jefferson District Planning Commission.
How long have we been doing this?
Chairman Thomas Jefferson Community Land Trust.
That's one.
Treasurer?
Of the commission.
Treasurer of the commission.
Look, really?
I have a hard time keeping up with your titles. You're such a connected, influential man.
Yeah, I lost $17 million and they're making me treasurer. So you really want to do that? Anyway.
That's a good guy to make treasurer.
Yeah.
Because he knows what's up.
I know, yeah. And I'm chairman of the Regional Housing Partnership.
Right. Yeah. This guy's...
and on the car board.
And on the car board.
Yeah. I can't talk about too much of it, but... Well, a little later.
I knew if I brought this up that you would continue that way, and you know where I'm going.
I know where
yesterday's meeting, right?
Yeah. I can't publicly talk about it, but the good news is UVA is re-engaging in the affordable housing space that it timed out in. Excuse me for a second. Timed out in. I think this time last year.
Yeah.
So
it had other priorities.
Yeah. Totally. So they're re-engaging in that, which is great. Their participation in this subject that we've been talking about forever is going to be huge. I'm on it as the chairman of the Regional Housing Partnership, which is great. And we had what I can say without getting myself too much in trouble.
Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble
I
here.
will not.
Okay.
Is that they are engaging the right groups of people and the right groups of right entities that do this, and I was super encouraged. So I feel knock on fake IKEA.
How can it be fake IKEA? It's either IKEA or it's not.
Oh, it's
IKEA.
freaking wood. It's either one of the two. But anyway, so at that slide that Judah put up,
You'll get it back up there.
Yeah, when you start looking at 2010s, we're roughly around 4%. I suspect what you're going to see somewhere between now and the end of 2020 is in that sweet spot, and everybody else is kind of saying it between 3 and 4.
Just cheap money.
But the decade before it was over 6%.
Right. My first place was 6 and 8.
Well,
and you're going to be like, oh, Jerry, mine was 18 and change.
Wimp.
I know, that's what you're.
Grow up. But yeah, so everything's feeling really good. It's everything I think is going in the right direction. But it was an interesting thing. I spent a little bit of time this morning and went over some numbers in Charlottesville, and actually went through everything through Augusta and Waynesboro, excuse me. So Charlottesville, we got this new coming soon criteria. I can't go into any particular details on the properties.
And what does that mean? By address, but you can talk in broad strokes.
I can talk in broad strokes, yeah. So, I just can't talk about a specific property without getting permission from the owner and the real estate agent and the broker, so which I will not do at this point. But what I wanted to focus on is a couple of weeks ago, you didn't really see too many of these, but in the city of Charlottesville, right now we have a total of 8 coming soon.
City of Charlottesville, 10.2 square miles, 8 coming soon.
Correct. So
coming soon window is what?
So technically it's about 15 days, right?
Okay.
They have up to 15 days.
So that's a large window.
It's a large window, right? So what and I brought the actual rules with us that we could talk about, but in basic terms, if we're going to sign a listing agreement with your home, to sell your home, within 48 hours we're required to put it into this coming soon category, and then we're required within 14 days after that to go active. So what this provides is the real estate agent the ability to research this. So I can research this when I'm trying to find a home for Mr. and Mrs. Miller.
Yeah, you can test the waters.
Well, I can find out what's coming on the market, right? So we can't, what the rules are, you're not allowed to see it, you're not allowed to show it, right? It has to hit the actual active market. And then once that happens, and any real estate agent, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not explaining this correctly, but once that happens, then it goes into like Realtor or Zillow and so forth and so on. So these are things that are only seen to real estate agents at this particular time.
How about this one from Steve on Twitter? Steve, is it Lyles? Keith, what's the difference between coming soon and a pocket listing?
Oh, great question.
Yeah, Steve Lyles.
So the whole purpose of coming soon started out with a ruling from NAR, National Association of Realtors, called clear cooperation. And the intent for that was to prevent pocket listings.
Okay, so why don't we do this? What is a pocket listing?
Yeah, wow. So pocket listings are kind of like affordable housing. It kind of means different things to different people.
Okay.
The bottom line of it is I've got a home that I want to sell, and I know Judah's a buyer, and I know you're the lister, and I put everybody together, and it never hits the market. It never gets out. There's a reason why they use the term clear cooperation. So what we need to do is it needs to hit the market so everybody has an opportunity to either purchase it. It's also better for the seller, right? There's more competition, price goes up, right? It's just the right way it should be done. Frankly, my opinion is I don't know why we had to create a rule for it. It should have been, that's just common sense, right? If I'm going to sell a home for you and Mrs. Miller,
You want the most offers possible.
I want to get it out and as broadcasted as wide and far as possible on the I Love Charlottesville Network. How'd you like that, huh?
Nicely done, broadcaster Smith.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyway, and to get out there and get eyeballs on it and get people start working their thumbs on their iPhones and looking at it. But it's interesting. So there's 8 coming on the market in the CVille area. So this is no new construction, right? We constantly drop out new construction. But the situation really isn't getting much better in the city of Charlottesville. As of today, we got now dropping out the coming soons, right?
Yeah.
We've got 35 active, 75 pending. That's a difference of 40 units. So it's roughly a 2-to-1 ratio.
So right now in the city of Charlottesville, 35 active units as of this morning.
As of this morning.
Okay, you hear that, viewers and listeners? City of Charlottesville, city limits only. 35 active listings, 75 under contract.
And 8 of them are going to be coming on within, if you dig into them, some of them are going to come on today, tomorrow. So one of the criteria in the coming soon is in the agent notes. You have to say when
it's coming on the market.
When it's coming on the market.
When it's going to be active.
When it's going to be active.
Okay. And they all have to be within 2 weeks.
I think it's 14 days. Yeah. So it's a ratio of 2 to 1. Sold last week when I was visiting family in the sunny place here. There was 14 units sold. Median sales price was $482. 5 days on market.
14 units sold. So was that last week?
That was last week. That was Monday.
Units sold
Monday
in the
to
city.
yesterday.
Okay. Monday to yesterday.
Yeah. 482. 5 days on market. 1856 square foot. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Good night. Yeah. That ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap, but I'm encouraged that there's
more inventory coming.
More inventory coming. I forgot the number, but there's more inventory coming. Albemarle.
Oh, you got the Albemarle County numbers.
I've got everything through Waynesboro.
I love it.
If you want to stick with me with the,
I want to stick with you.
So coming soon, Albemarle County. This is as of this morning. 13 units coming on the market.
Okay.
This is in this coming soon status. A little bit more. Albemarle County active, 120 units active, 245, pending, 124 difference. That's roughly a 1-to-1 ratio.
So right now in Albemarle County, 120 active?
121 active.
121 active.
245 is in pending. There's a difference of 124, and that's a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's getting better, right? So the Charlottesville was a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
This is a 1-to-1 ratio. So, the absorption rate, that's what I kind of look at absorption rates.
Sure.
So, what's coming on the market and what's hitting pending. And
yeah.
It kind of tells me a little bit on that. And it's starting to change a little bit. We're going to watch this a little bit closer.
Are we seeing pockets of Albemarle more popular than others?
Well, that's a great question. I did not dive into that end of it. But we can surely do that on another show. I'd have to read it a little bit more to go ahead and do this. I was just looking globally.
Sure, I love it.
On the macro side of it. Sold last week 35 units.
In the county of Albemarle?
Yeah, would you venture to think that, now this is attached and detached, right? No condos, no new construction. We factor that out. Do you think Charlottesville is higher than Albemarle County?
You're talking median?
Median sales price.
Charlottesville median sales price was $482. $482 last week. Albemarle County's median sales price, how many went under contract?
35.
I'd say Albemarle County is lower than 482.
There you go.
I'll say Albemarle County is probably 407.
Got a 3 in front of it.
Okay, what do you got?
347.
Wow.
12 days on market, 2,000.
So that's a hell of a difference.
Yeah, sure.
347 versus 482?
482, that's
the
it.
county versus city, guys.
Yeah. Bigger units, 2,060, 12 days on market.
That's a direct correlation to supply and demand.
Yeah, and like we said, we've got some more units coming on the market. We've got a current active 121, but as we were saying earlier, coming soon we got another 13 that's going to be hitting it. Now again, we're not even calculating new construction, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. I'm going to share some new projects that I know are going to be coming up that's going to increase our market.
Whereabouts?
In Fulvan on the other side of the mountain.
Yeah? Fluvanna, Nelson, Green, and the other side of the mountain, booming.
It is, and one of the, and again, trying to keep myself from getting into trouble and keep me.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying.
But you're fishing a little
I'm
bit.
trying.
But one of the things I encouraged the discussion yesterday was to look outside of the city of Charlottesville. at this committee meeting I was part of, and that was very helpful. They're going to start looking at that. Fluvanna County, my home.
Looking outside the city of Charlottesville to create housing, affordable housing.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to, because that's where the dirt's affordable.
Yeah, so that's why we're there, and my team and the team from the Regional Housing Partnership is there, is to help them from the practitioner's perspective.
Do you think this question, let me throw this to you, and this is right up your alley, and you love this stuff, what I'm going to throw to you, okay? Is the fastest path to creating affordability in Central Virginia, is the fastest path dealing with the red tape that is creating more inventory, or is the fastest path creating more ubiquitous and approachable transportation that's reliable?
Oh, you can't separate.
You're saying they're hand in hand?
You can never separate the two.
Okay.
But it's really interesting, and you kind of rocked my world when we were months and months ago talking about the other side of the mountain, because I'm convinced we're going to be looking at $4 a gallon of gasoline at some point in time here if this trends keep on going the way it's going. I may be wrong, but this whole EV thing is that's something that is all of a sudden being talked about almost with every conversation I'm having at this point.
Electric vehicles, guys.
Thank you. To include Mrs. Smith. She wants that electric Mustang, but I don't quite get that. But anyway, she wants the electric Mustang on that end of it. But it's interesting, and it's I can't quote the chapter and verse, but the legislature passed sweeping laws on EV. Now they have in part of it the same thing. They also passed some laws about solar and solar electrification via solar around that. But we're again, Neil, if he's watching, could probably...
Neil Williamson, let us know if you're watching.
He can quote chapter and verse. I don't quite have it off the top of my head. But from my understanding is the state of Virginia is on the forefront within the United States of adopting policies to make EVs more affordable to the masses through some tax abatements. There was some language in there that they were helping folks, gas stations, to build... charging stations in their existing facilities, so forth. So
oh, Neil is watching. What's up, homie?
Yeah, so he probably knows more about this than any
Free Enterprise Forum.
Absolutely.
Executive Director. I'm gonna throw this scenario to you. Okay? I'm gonna throw this scenario to you. We are making this commitment to making Charlottesville, or trying to making Charlottesville and Albemarle County more affordable. Okay. And the way that can happen is through, say, the land trust.
Sure. But there's other great, I have to stop you there. We talk about the land trust all the time. Right?
Yeah.
You have to do
Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat for Humanity, Piedmont Housing. AHIP.
Right.
There's some, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones we're missing.
Creating more housing,
sure.
Loosening the the area that can be developed from 5% to beyond. So yeah. I'm gonna paint this picture for you. Just an economist talk for you. Okay, so we're getting more reliable internet out there. Broadband is going to Fluvanna, to Louisa, to Nelson
sure.
County, to everywhere.
Sure.
Okay, we have broadband.
Yep.
We have electric vehicles like Tesla, like the Chevy Volt, like Neo, and these electric vehicles.
Interesting. Polestar is going to come over, which is a European version of Tesla.
Polestar. Okay, so we have more electric vehicles coming on the market than ever before. And they're coming on the market at prices that are more affordable than ever before. It's no longer a luxury, an electric vehicle.
Except for the Hummer, I'm looking.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. Chevy Volt's not that expensive.
Chevy Volt, I was looking at it the other day because we were thinking about getting a company car.
Yeah.
Is about $35,000.
Okay.
And I don't believe that.
That's the fully loaded one.
That's the fully loaded one,
yeah.
And it doesn't include the tax incentives that you get.
Okay, so you can get an EV below 30K.
I don't know about that, but
somewhere there.
Entry level, would say about 29,000, 30,000.
So
like
is our marketplace dynamics, despite our efforts, our marketplace dynamics, because you can work anywhere, because you have an electric vehicle, so the cost of gasoline, the wear and tear on a car is not as big. That's what I'm saying. I think even if what we're trying to do, Charlottesville can't help but not be affordable.
Yeah, well. So, my thinking on this has changed substantially over the last 12 months. Just to flip over to Waynesboro, right? two things about Waynesboro. I can't give a bunch of details, but one of my clients who's a national builder, we're looking at some land over there. And they're kind of getting this conversation we're having that, if these EVs are getting to this point. So
why wouldn't you live there?
Gas doesn't get that. They have the internet. They have the infrastructure, the road infrastructure. They have the school
and that's
infrastructure.
my point.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and my point is, if you can live anywhere, why wouldn't you live at a place that's half the cost, where you can get more bang for your buck? You still have the internet to work from anywhere, and then the EV, so you don't have the gas and the wear and tear costs.
A great question for the feed, and even better question.
What do you think, Neil Williamson?
Better question for Lisa Sturtevant.
Dr. Lisa Sturtevant.
Doctor, excuse me, the good doctor.
Yeah.
I would love to know of the overall pie of workforce, how many can actually work remotely, regardless if the company allows them to do that or not, what their job profiles allow them work remotely, and ones that cannot. So obviously, the framer, the electrician, those type of folks.
How much of the Virginia job force can work from an ISP? That's what you want to know.
And Neil probably knows, but the good doctor for sure will know. And because that will tell us a lot, right?
I think the marketplace is going to evolve Charlottesville, and it's already happened.
Yeah,
but
sure.
COVID has expedited it, that it's going to be, I hate to say this, just the playground for the rich.
Well, I hope not. I really hope not. I put in way too many
I know you
volunteer hours for that not to happen. So I'm an optimistic guy. We're gonna get this done, particularly with the 10-ton elephant in the room.
What, the University of Virginia?
Yeah, when the 10-ton elephant gets involved.
That's huge.
That's huge. Yeah. So Augusta and Wayne County active is 61. Interesting. On the other side of the mountain, they're not using this coming soon. They're using it, but they don't use it often. There's only 2 in the coming soon category. Well, even though they're all part of the same MLS, we do a data sharing agreement between CAR and GAR, which is the Greater Augusta Association of Realtors, I think. Pending is 158. There's a difference of 97. So we got 61 active, 158 is currently pending. That's a 97 unit difference. It's roughly 1.5 to 1. So it's not quite 1 to 1. It's not quite 2 to 1. So, but the absorption rate is still pretty much up there. Interesting on the sold side. Hold on a second here. I printed the wrong sheet for that. Sold is 32. Median sales price is 218, 18 days on market. Big difference.
Huge difference.
Printed the wrong form for you. So yeah, I think it's going that way. I think we when you have now everybody's talking about Louisa County and its internet
and the broadband.
Great, it's great that they're in front of it.
It's still a few years away.
Yeah,
we're talking 2024.
Fluvanna will get there Fluvanna.
Nelson first, Fluvanna second, Louisa third.
Yeah, well, my friend Jesse will like to argue with us, but I think we're kind of neck to neck.
Really?
To neck. Yeah. Well, we have a larger demographic, right? So it's kind of not really fair, right?
You're saying more taxpayers.
Well, you got more folks living in Fluvanna County than there's living in Nelson County. So it's you kind of have to take a look at that ratio. But we'll get it done pretty much on time. And the Greene and all the other counties are really desperately trying to get on the bandwagon to go ahead and do that. But yeah, I mean it's
with electric vehicles.
I'm super excited about them.
Well, with electric vehicles, with the ability to work from internet service providers and not needing to go into offices as much, with the advent of Zoom and video conferencing, COVID is creating this push to suburbs, even more so.
Yeah, but I'll counterpoint that a little
Please.
bit. We're social animals, right? Humans, and you need this interaction. I'll leave names out of it, but I have my best friend in the world that was in the Marine Corps. We went to boot camp together, known each other for, oh my God, since 80. 2, I think, or 1. Retired Marine, and so he's studying for his bar. He's a lawyer, Virginia bar, and he's got tired of studying at his home. He says, "Keith, can I come in your office and steal a desk?" I said, "Yeah, not a problem. Just come in." So he's sitting over there studying, probably talking to my wife and chatting things up, not getting any work done. But I'm just saying, while we're here working hard.
But you're saying he wanted to be around people.
He wanted to be around people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that little balance of it. We're social people, but I think from a very large macro area, and look, the good doctor is the one that needs to really speak to this stuff. I'm just a practical guy.
Use common sense.
I was the guy that got asked to leave high school kind of guy. But the reality of it is, there has been a change, and I don't think it's going to go back. I think you might rubber band halfway. We talk about that all the time. But, I really think this EV thing, everything up is going to be huge.
Neil Williamson, Free Enterprise Forum, says, Keith and Jerry, looking back, federal flex time had a dramatic impact on traffic patterns in Washington, D.C. 20 years ago. Pandemic-included telecommuting will similarly change the capacity demands on local roadways. I believe that.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thought, because I ought to reach out to so I deal with a bunch of traffic engineers and some other projects, so I know some guys around. That's a great question to ask them. And the VDOT folks, what impacts are that going to have in their traffic counts for future projects? That's an interesting question.
Right. And how about the impact of allocating or saving municipality funds for the upkeep of roads, and whether that goes down?
Well, that's a state thing, right?
Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
So unless you're in a town or a city, right? So the city of Charlottesville takes care of its own roads, right? I think Scottsville
does. Scottsville takes care of
They take care of their own roads.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they had a VDOT agreement with VDOT, right?
Yeah.
So
city does.
The city surely does, yeah. So when you get outside of that, that's when the state kind of picks up. So that's a state level thing, not necessarily a municipality.
Johnny Ornalis, unless they put vaccine info on your ID, it's going to be very hard to know who has or will get the vaccine as a restaurant owner.
Yeah, and he knows, he's boots on the ground. How are we actually going to implement this? But look, at the end of the day...
How do you think it should be implemented? I have some ideas.
Well, I don't know if I'm smart enough to figure that out, but to me...
Should it even be implemented? Should there be a barrier of entry into privately owned businesses, and that barrier of entry is, have you had the vaccine or not? Proof of vaccination. We do proof of shirt. We do proof of shoes.
Well, that's a visual thing.
Right?
So that's easy.
Right? Isn't a visual thing proof? Can I come in? Showing the phone. For those that are listening on Spotify, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts right now, or
He's
Bluetooth,
waving his phone around.
Bluetooth in their car. Is this visual? Here's my thing. I can come in.
Yeah,
Is that what it's going to come down to? And if it does, we're spitballing for the sake of a talk show. Folks are going to be like, a lot of folks will say that's anti-American, and they feel like it's their rights.
Well,
I'm spitballing for the sake of a talk show.
But let's back up for a second. Look, I get that, right? And I understand and respect folks' opinion on it. But on the other hand, you look like you're about 12, so don't you get carded from time to time?
I get carded all the time.
Yeah, so, well, there you go.
Yeah.
What the hell's the difference?
Well, can I play devil's advocate?
No,
The difference is the law says you have to card someone for alcohol. Right now, the law does not say you have to check someone's proof of vaccination before they will serve you tacos.
Yeah, so I would assume at some point there's going to have to be some legal teeth to that.
From federal, not state or local.
Well, or however that path is going to go up and down on that end of it. Look, and I think, and I may be wrong, I know I will wear it as a badge of honor.
The vaccination.
Yeah.
Me too.
It was interesting.
It's like the I voted sticker.
That's exactly right. So when we were traveling last week to visit family, you would see people with these stickers on it. I've been vaccinated. They wore it as a badge of honor. Look, it's a great question, way above our 2 pay grades to answer that. But we need to get this economy back and rolling and rocking and moving forward. And, folks like Johnny, they're doing...
I would almost make the argument that getting vaccinated is as American a thing as you can do.
Without doubt.
Because it creates consumer confidence, helps reopen the economy, gets people back in their jobs, and gets us going in the right direction.
So as you know, we have family overseas, and my wife is Austrian, and we have a bunch of folks around.
Some people may disagree with that. If you disagree with that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and counter your point, please, in the feed.
Yeah, please, if you
be
disagree.
Respectful, of course.
Yeah,
but yeah. So
I mean, one of our friends who was I won't say his name because he's asked me not to. Listens to the show all the time.
Sure.
Beautiful wife.
Sure.
3 kids. You know who I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah, he would say otherwise.
And that's the beautiful thing about America. That's the beautiful thing. I mean, I'll give a shout out to Neil. I'm trying to bring a partner of his in that he was showcasing in one of his blogs. And George, and his last name escapes me, and then maybe he can post his blog in the feed. But he put a Veterans Memorial up over at the Blake over there on Rio Road, right? And he raised his own money, and I'm communicating with him. I'm going to try to bring him on the show because it's really a good feel story. But you know, the reality of it is, you know, to me, I would wear it as a national pride. And you talk to people in France, and you talk to people that we know in Austria, right? And it's just a pride thing, you know, to get it done. But you know, there's a beautiful thing about America, right? And this memorial represents the folks that defended it, you know, the fact that we can do what we have to do. But I would also remember, because I'm old enough to remember this, I remember having to get my polio shot when I was a kid, right? And you were required to get a shot, right? But yeah, you're 100% right. You know, everybody has their own right to go ahead and do that. But
Ray Cadell says, you can choose not to vaccinate yourself if you would like, but not to be around me if I don't know it. Still too much unknown. He's getting number 2 Moderna next Tuesday, by the way. Congratulations, Ray.
So I don't know enough about this, and we really should bring somebody a lot smarter than us, a doctor or a couple of doctors to do a round table on this, and we'll try to put that together on that end of it, because I don't quite understand what herd immunity is. I hear that word thrown around a lot, or 2 words thrown around a lot. I'm not, you know, I just don't really understand it. But, you know, I believe there's some sort of level where there's a percentage of people that get vaccinated that it kind of gets into this herd immunity thing. So at some point, we'll bring somebody in.
Oh, Judah Wickower, he wants something to offer here.
That's what it is. Basically, you get enough people that are vaccinated that they protect the people that aren't. It's kind of like a shield.
AKA a herd.
Yeah.
A herd.
Got it, herd. So I want to be in the middle of that herd.
We've touched on something here. I want to be in the middle of that herd as well. Vanessa Parkhill says, what about people who choose not to get vaccinated because they've had COVID and have the antibodies already? Fair question. So much unknown right here.
But, you know, Alfred, you know, I don't understand, you know, that's probably where we're trying to get to. You know, is this herd immunity where not everybody has to be vaccinated, and we go ahead and do that. But again, we'll probably.
I just want to go into Wegmans. I want to get my Johnson & Johnson in my left arm because I don't want it in my right arm because it might affect my pickleball, racquetball, squash, and tennis game.
Hold it, time out. You're not ambidextrous?
I am not ambidextrous. I want the Johnson & Johnson 1 shot in my left arm
I'm
because I don't want it
ambidextrous,
to
but
impact
okay.
my right arm from my sports playing. And I want to get my coupon for my $10 pepperoni pizza, and I want to bring my pepperoni pizza to my wife and to my son, and I want to say, Mrs. Miller and baby boy, father's vaccinated, here's a pizza pie. Here's a pizza pie. That's what I want to do. What's wrong with that?
I'm in, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm in.
And then we'll crack a cold beer, and then we'll say, we have the vaccine.
We have the vaccine. So, you know, to back on the numbers, interesting on Nelson County, because we talk about Nelson all the time. No coming soons in Nelson County. Fulvana has 3 of them. And so the market is trying to trend up.
It's trying to turn.
It's trying to turn. But, you know, we talk about this all the time. I think the
market. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's so anemic. The numbers are so anemic. You know, when you're looking at what Fulvana County's, hold on a second here, I'll tell you. Fulvana County's medium days or 3. 3.
3 days on market?
3 days on market.
That's
2
nuts.
So this was last week. 218 sales price. 3 days on market. 2128. So a little bigger home. 2.5 baths, 3 bedrooms.
How many active at Lake Monticello? For those that are watching and don't know this, Lake Monticello, the largest neighborhood in Central Virginia by a rooftop standpoint.
4,300 roughly.
4,300 rooftops
Yeah,
in Lake Monticello.
Yeah, so there's 21. Well, once I take out Once I take out the coming soon, so there's 18 in Fluvanna County altogether, and only two of them. So there's 16 at the lake. Only 2 of them are outside of the lake at this point. So there's 16.
16 active in the lake.
16 active in the lake.
So that's less than 0.4%.
It's so small I can't figure it out.
Yeah, 0.4% of Lake Monticello is active.
Yeah, and like I told a couple of times before, when I first moved here in '87, there were 600 homes and 300 of them for sale. This is, anemic. So when you're starting to look at, 3 days on market, and we've all kind of agreed, once you start hitting 60 is when the market starts changing. I mean, we got a lot of days to pick up, a lot of this inventory to come up. But I think you're starting, we're hitting the spring market. Confidence is coming up. People are getting shots in their arm. We're getting closer to this.
See, that's what I think it is. And like so many of the agents are saying this, and we talk about this with you on the show. How we're going to get the market going in the right direction is to create more inventory. How we're going to get the market in the right direction is solving this question. If we sell our home, where will we move to?
Yes.
Okay. And I think it's even more of a chicken and an egg question than that. Okay? I think it's even further back the timeline than this. If we sell our home, where do we move to? I think really what we have to solve is how do we get, and I want to do micro here, how do we get Charlottesville and Central Virginia feeling confident about returning their lives to how it was before the pandemic? Because if Charlottesville and Central Virginia feels comfortable about their lives and their social behavior returning to how it was before the pandemic, then the inventory comes back.
Yeah, so I think we've been talking about it, right? I think as we start getting to this herd immunity, right, or shots are going in the arm, everybody's going to raise a little bit. There's more than just that, right? And interest rates are raising a little bit, so that's kind of getting more urgency going onto it. Because as you know, if every half point that goes up, your buying power goes down a little bit on your monthly. Because most people, it's how much my monthly payment house I can buy, right?
Yeah.
So how much house can I buy for my monthly? Got that backwards.
You're basically saying people take it to the top of what they can afford.
Well, it's if I can afford X dollars a month, that's the house I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not going to be looking at the house, and I don't care what my
Your delta is.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So look, I think that's a lot of it, and I think a lot of it is what we're doing right now. I really believe that this 1 hour long format discussion that people will be able to watch or listen now or later on down the road. I think I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think we're helping that along a little bit better.
When you get your vaccine and Yonna gets her vaccine, and don't speak for Yonna. You learned that lesson.
I'm smiling, I'm listening.
When you get your vaccine, do you feel comfortable going to happy hour at a bar and ponying up at the bar inside?
Yeah, but so our risk profile, our aversion to risk is different than maybe
You're
most
saying
people.
you're doing that right now.
I'm not saying that. Maybe I am, but no. So we're just a little different. It's because of where we came from, and
if the CDC is saying you get vaccinated and you don't need to wear a mask when you're around other people inside, I think once people get this first and second shot, after what the CDC just said yesterday and today, I think it's going to open back up.
Yeah. So look, I think what I'm going to do is if I get a shot, the Johnson & Johnson tomorrow, I can get it in either arm because I'm ambidextrous.
Okay, so you're going to the Milkman Bar to see River the same day.
But I will wear a mask.
You go inside and wear a mask.
I'm going to go inside and wear a mask.
So your social behavior has been changed forever, that you will wear the mask like they do in Asian countries?
No, not forever.
Okay.
But I personally think magically we hit this herd immunity, whatever it is. I think for an extended period of time, we have to keep this mask on. So what we'll do is we'll go in to Dairy Market. We'll go to Milkman for a drink, which is what we do now.
Yeah.
Right?
Love Dairy Market.
Right.
Love River.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love Chris. Love Jody.
Everything over there. Even if I have a shot, I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to order my martini. I'm going to take my martini, and I'm going to sit down at the chair, take my mask off, and drink my martini.
How long will you wear the mask after getting vaccinated?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody knows the answer to that. But
do you think social behavior's changed enough where it's going to be like, say, countries in Asia?
No.
They wear masks all the time?
Look, as Americans, we tend to forget pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, as Americans, we tend to be...
we forget pretty quickly.
We have this sense of invincibility as Americans.
We tend to forget quickly.
Yeah. And that has something to do with
2 years
ego.
from
with
now,
ego.
I don't know about that. But 2 years from now, right, this conversation is the difference between somebody who's knocking on 60 and somebody who isn't, right? So at my age, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm going to get the shot.
How about you guys that are watching?
Yeah, I'm going to get the shot, and then we're going to wait for a little while. But I think 2 years from now, somebody should write this down. 2 years from now, this conversation will be over.
Wish we had a DeLorean and we can go into the future with the flux capacitor and
I wish I had a
Brown.
I wish I had a DeLorean. Period. That's
Right?
worth some money right now.
Right?
Yeah. So we're.
What do you guys think that are watching? We have comments coming in.
Yeah, sure. Love to hear them.
If you get the vaccine, let's say you get the vaccine, Judah, I want to ask you this question. And I know you don't like to be on the show. Can we turn that mic around so we can get yours over here?
Well,
this mic here?
He participated pretty darn good.
I love when he participates. I think he has a lot to offer on the program. Folks, if you get vaccinated this month, I'm talking 1 shot and 2 shot, whether it's the Moderna, whether it's the Johnson &
You finish your
Johnson.
cycle. If it's
You
a 2
finish
or
your
a
cycle.
Yeah.
You're completely vaccinated.
Are you going to continue to wear a mask?
Or, okay, that's the first question. Will you continue to wear a mask? The second question is, do you have enough confidence to sit at a bar inside, let's say Dairy Market, fantastic sponsor of this show, inside without a mask at happy hour?
And
Dairy
people
Market.
are doing that now.
They are?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were just there the other day.
People are doing that now with, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Judah? Jump in here. Judah Wickhauer, director of the program. I'm curious of his take.
Would I sit at a bar with people who were at a full bar?
Would you, if you get vaccinated, do you wear the mask?
Well, do you do that now? Do you go to a bar now?
Do you go inside at a bar now?
I don't think any bars are letting people sit at the.
You can't sit at the bar.
You could sit inside.
Yeah.
like at a cocktail table.
You can't sit physically
at the bar, right?
I've been to Sedona Tap House. They got lots of beers. You go in with your mask on, you sit down and take your mask off.
So no mask. Would you wear a mask after you're vaccinated?
Well, I think you got to twist the question a little bit.
Okay.
Because I forgot all about that because I forgot you can't actually go and sit at the bar.
Right. You have to be at the cocktail lounge.
You have to be in a chair or table or something.
But you got to imagine if the CDC is saying if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask inside. You got to think that the bar stools are going to be opening up very soon.
I think saying that and getting to where you want to get to is we got a bit of a time here.
Explain that to me.
Well, so because the CDC magically said you can do this, it doesn't mean everybody's behavior.
Oh, no, it's going to have to go to Governor Ralph.
Well, I'm just talking about how Keith Smith is going to act.
I think most people sitting at the bar are going to sit at the bar. They don't care. People that are terrified are staying home still. I mean, it's been a year. They're still staying home. They're not going to be at the bar, like, staring at people or saying horrible things about them because they're sitting at the bar. They're going to be sitting in their homes doing whatever they do at home.
And they have the right to do that.
People that are already going to the bars are going to keep going to the bars. And now they're going to be able to sit at the bar stool.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, Alfred.
Judah Wickhauer, our director. Nikki Chambliss, yes, mask. I think right now is too soon for all the things, and trust me, I want to do all the things. Let's give this more time and allow a higher percentage of the population to get vaccinated. I respect that, Nikki.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm saying, right? And even if magically the CDC says tomorrow everything is herd immunity, and you can take everything off, I think a logical thinking person, at least nobody's ever accused me of being logical, but what I'm going to do...
We got a lot of comments coming in right now.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
Vanessa Parkhill, friend of the program. Love Vanessa Parkhill. Vanessa Parkhill says, if I'm vaccinated, no mask, sitting at the bar for sure.
Good for you.
Respect, Vanessa Parkhill. She says, if I get the vaccine, no mask, and I'm sitting at the bar, what's your beverage of choice?
And
Vanessa, at the bar?
are you gonna show off the fact that are you gonna wear it as a badge of pride? That
Which part?
You got the shot.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I know I would. Yeah.
Yeah, if I got the shot, I would proudly wear the sticker.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would almost think that it should almost turn into more than just a temporary sticker.
No, I'm not getting a tattoo.
No, not a but I'm saying like you're saying like a badge of
I'm not getting a
pride.
tattoo.
Almost like a merit badge.
he thought that was funny.
A merit badge.
That was, I thought, 144 shows. That was the first time I see you just totally
laugh.
Totally lose it. You
That
didn't
was
even
good.
lose it in my Batman spandex.
I could see people actually doing that.
Getting the tattoo that they got vaccinated?
Yeah.
But if they did that, it would have to be somewhere visual.
Get it
Or
right
it could be
Get it right on your forehead.
or it could be like a wrist tattoo or something like that where they just show it. I don't know. You have no I just don't know how it's going to work.
I think we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, guys.
Neil Williams said the mask continues until we reach herd immunity.
Yeah.
Wearing a mask serves the community.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say is that even if you get a shot, and even if they say we're now magically at herd immunity, you're going to see some trickle over time. Just people's going to take time for people to feel comfortable with.
Vanessa Parkhill is my kind of people. You know what she said her drink of choice was?
I have no idea.
Vanessa Parkhill, I love everything about you.
I can't see it. I have no idea.
She said, I want an Elijah Craig at the whiskey jar.
Good for you.
Some bourbon at the whiskey jar.
Good for you.
Respect, right?
I'm a martini guy.
Right, but you'll appreciate that.
I appreciate that, yeah. Yeah, so, I think...
face tattoos. People love the face tattoos comment.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
don't think the face
I
tattoos.
think so.
It's just funny. This is what I'm curious about, and I miss sitting across from you, my friend.
Yeah.
I miss doing the show.
I love you, man. I love doing this, man.
Right back at you. We're what, 13, 14 months into this? 13 months?
140, whatever, 140.
Well, I meant COVID.
Oh, COVID, yeah.
Like 13 months, right? This was like early March. This time last year.
Yeah, so that would be 12.
So 12 months. So it was like this time. You're right. It was last year because it was the ACC basketball tournament.
That's right.
The ACC basketball tournament got canceled in the middle of the tournament last year.
That's somebody should look up. I think we're coming up on the 1 year.
It's the 1 year anniversary for Charlottesville because I remember doing this show, doing the one of our shows.
Yeah, we had. Who did we have on there? We had Bill Tucker and Katie West. I think was
Right.
the show before we had to pivot to 100% video.
When I knew it got really serious was when they were canceling the NCAA tournament and the
Sure.
ACC tournament because the NCAA tournament brings in like $500 million
some years
for the
ago.
NCAA.
Sure.
So when they canceled that, I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was like this time last year.
So that's an interesting question. We just start going back to sporting events, and how's that going to work?
Well, I mean, that's one of the things I was just going to ask. Like, because I started my career in sports.
Sure.
Out of UVA.
Sure.
So, like, when can we go back to having 15,000 people in an arena?
Yeah.
Right?
Look, it's like
Because that's critically important for the Charlottesville economy.
It's like anything. This thing happened. It took us quite a while to get the PPE up and running. It took us quite a while to get everything ramped up. I'm going to use my aircraft carrier analogy, right? It took a while. It takes a while to get that aircraft carrier moving at top speed. And we are now, let's say we're at top speed or getting close to top speed. To stop that thing, you put that sucker in neutral, right? It takes quite a long time before it actually stops. So again, like everybody's talking about here, get your shots, get the herd immunity. But it's going to take some time to kind of flush through all these kind of things to get there. So, but I think, and this may be a bit is there such a word as over-optimistic?
No. You could be over-optimistic would be, what would over-optimistic
Over-optimistic
be?
is not.
Hopeful. Over-optimistic is hopeful.
Yeah, I think over-optimistic is not proper English.
It's hopeful.
Let's say I'm optimistic.
You're hopeful.
I am hopeful that we're going on the other side of this peak. I think we've kind of hit the peak, not in cases and all that kind of great stuff, but I think we're just getting to the point where we're starting to come downhill on this, but it's going to take quite a while to get to the bottom.
You know what that's called in literature?
I have no idea.
It's the denouement.
Okay.
This is the denouement of the saga that is COVID in Charlottesville and Central
I'll
Virginia.
look that word up later.
The final part of a play
Oh, yeah,
movie
got
or
it.
narrative
Got it,
in
got
which the strands of the plot are identified.
Got it. Yeah.
They're drawn together, the denouement.
Got it. Got it. It's the fourth act.
Yeah, we're the denouement of COVID. Sarah Hill Buczynski gets us
Hey,
out of
Sarah.
here with a comment. Gentlemen, vaccine passport or tattoo is
No,
is a scary road to go down. She specifically is talking about the vaccine passport. And the vaccine passport is, for those on Spotify, iTunes, Apple
Yeah.
Podcasts, is proof of vaccination. I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
You don't think so, huh?
I don't, look, this is a great, fodder for a conversation.
Yeah.
But nobody really knows.
No.
All I know is the shots, the vaccines are ramping up. People are getting my 80-year-plus-year-old parents got their first round of shots.
Congratulations.
And these were folks that really didn't want to do it. And, our family members said, look, if you want to see the grandkids again, this is what you got to do. And it was a tough, it was almost like an intervention. It was a tough conversation to have.
So this was the leverage? The leverage was, if you want to see your grandkids?
We're a bunch of New Yorkers. We'll do whatever we need to do.
That's some serious
Oh,
leverage.
you have, when this is all over with, right, and we can all get together as families, I'm going to invite you and your family over to my Smith gathering, which is huge.
Is this when James goes to the corner and you guys talk about housing and real estate while everything else is happening?
Of course, that's exactly what we do. And oh, by the way, the guy that's
I love James Watson.
What's the thing when you can't eat milk or cheese? Oh, come on, Alfred.
It's lactose intolerant.
Lactose intolerant.
Okay.
He's lactose intolerant. I love him to death, right? For the first 4 or 5 years, every time we would get together on Sundays, is lasagna, right? And this poor SOB.
So was he in the bathroom the whole time?
And he's
was he in the bathroom the whole time?
And I love.
This is his brother-in-law, a friend of mine as well. He's A-plus people, James
man,
Watson.
I love him more than anything. And, it was like, I'm watching him going, dude, what's up? And he goes, I'm lactose intolerant. I said, what the hell are you eating it for? well, I didn't want to be rude. I said, you're nuts, man. So now it's a family thing. Every time we get together, we give him cheese. Here you go, here's some cheese. Oh, the poor guy.
I missed you, buddy.
Yeah, I missed you too. But we'll get together because once you finish having a dinner with the whole Smith clan,
Moving to Lake Monticello?
no, you
Like the rest of the clan?
There's no going back. There's no going back.
What do you got planned for Friday, Smith?
We're going to work all day.
Yeah, I'm talking on the show.
Oh. Don't
To
know.
be determined.
To be determined.
To be
Don't
determined.
know. What day is today?
Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday. Got it.
Welcome back.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Welcome
Keith
back.
Smith,
Mr. Miller.
A-plus people, trusted advisor,
Alfred.
just a fantastic guy. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, Keith Smith, Yonna Smith, yes, Realty Partners, yes, Team Realtors, these people will go to the wall and back for you. Judah Wickhauer is the director of our show. He's our metronome. He keeps us in play and keeps us consistent. This man, the star and the executive producer, he's Keith Smith. I'm Jerry Miller. We will see you Friday at 10:15 for the next edition of Real Talk presented by the Yes Team Realtors. Thank you for joining us, guys.
Nice show.
It was a great show. Couldn't you tell?
Yeah, I had fun.
I had so much fun.
Just,
Thank you for watching, Sarah.